I don't know about you, but I sometimes get tired of the kind of bait and switch or the hype that the ending of some of these episodes give. For example, for episode 10, there's like this big cliffhanger where her relationship with Sakuta is revealed, and the media is like going crazy. And in episode 11, like, it gets resolved in like 2-3 minutes, and I was like, man, I wish it was a little bit more focal point in the story. But I mean, what can you do? Some good things came out of it though, with that little 3-minute part about her doing a press conference about her relationship with Sakuta, because Mai expresses just how much influence he was to having to go back and be in the limelight again and to act and everything. And in this episode, you know, as a side story or side things that are happening, you see Sakuta and Mai really express how much they care for each other, and it's really endearing. Like, they're not afraid to admit how much they love each other. At one point, you know, Mai and Sakuta, they argue who loves each other more, and it was just this little interaction. It's just awesome to see. But it's funny though, because she still won't let him kiss her. Well, I guess in this part of the story, in this episode, is because he was stating that he got a letter from Shoko to meet him at the beach, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you kiss me, like, after you're gonna go meet up with your ex crush. But he kind of makes up with it, because he when he goes to the beach, he writes in the sand, like, I already have a girlfriend. Like, he wants to write a letter or a message to Shoko to really show his devotion to Mai, which again is awesome to see, that they're not embarrassed by it, that it doesn't, you know, follow the normal cliches of them being embarrassed or afraid to show or to tell people how much they care for each other. So, great thing. I mean, we can talk about that all day, but let's get back to some key points in the story. This is another side one that happened, and this has to do with Shoko. As I stated before, she writes a letter to Sakuta, and what's interesting about this letter is that she calls herself Shoko-san instead of Shoko-chan, which raises a flag for Sakuta, meaning that this has to be the Shoko that he remembers, and there's something happening here, and he doesn't know what it is. But that's why he accepts the letter, and he even calls her to even verify that it was her. And the one that picks up is the one that he has been seeing for the past few months, where it's the one that is a middle schooler, and she doesn't remember writing a letter. So they kind of put this to the side. They don't give us any type of resolution on it, which I'm pretty sure is gonna play a bigger part in episode 12 and 13. So we'll see how that develops. And then the focal point of this was Kaede, because it's called Kaede's Quest, the episode. And the episode is focused on her goal of wanting to basically step outside of the house and do all these things, you know, go see the pandas, go to the beach, go all this stuff. And obviously she has to do this with her Oni-chan, with her big brother. She's such a bro-con in this. And he willingly wants to help her, and so much that, like, he talks about it so much to Futaba that Futaba also calls him a siscon. But anyway, so they started with these little steps, and one of them was Mai wants to help her as well. And so Mai goes to another room, calls their house phone, and she picks it up, which is a big step for her. But then she falls and she faints and has a fever, and Sakuta is still very impressed at the step that she's made to get better. But then she notices this mark on her neck that kind of, I think it looks like a bruise, which she's worried about. But again, they don't address it anymore, so I don't know if she's having the adolescent syndrome issues with that again, or if that's something completely different. Again, it's not mentioned to us at all. We'll just have to wait till next week again to see what they do with that. You see her slowly do other things, like talk on the phone with Mai for longer, and putting on normal clothes. And I think the most touching moment in this episode had to have been when she finally decides she's ready to go step outside because it's this huge struggle. She even has these goals planned out where she's gonna hold on to Sakuta from the back and slowly take steps to go outside. And and Sakuta kind of tricks her, saying that we're still in the doorway. And then she kind of freaks out. She's like, "Oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready." And then she realizes that she's actually outside, and she just falls to the floor and she's crying. And Sakuta thought it was because he pushed her too far, but she was just very grateful. And this is one of the few times that we see a huge emotion come over Sakuta, because he's basically in tears now, almost, at just amazed at how great strides that Kaede made. It even gets to the point that she is able to go to the beach, which is where we get another huge revelation, where she tries to go pick up a ball and she runs into her classmate Kano Kotomi. Now we see this classmate earlier in the episode talking to Sakuta about what had happened to school after she was bullied and how they try to get rid of bullying in the school. And when Kano calls out to Kaede, she says, I don't remember you, and she's like really hurt by it. And then Sakuta reveals that she has actually lost her memories, so she has no memory of, I think, the events of what happened prior to her getting her adolescent syndrome, or after she got better, all her memories got erased. We don't know too much about it, but we just know they're erased. So, and that's how the episode ends. Again, there was tons of these little parts aside from the main storyline, which I really liked. Mai and Sakuta's relationship ever evolving, and just a great relationship. Great. The Shoko one, I'm interested in. I thought they were gonna end with this one, but I still have my theory that they're not gonna resolve Shoko's storyline until they do the movie. And then Kaede's, her revelation and her progression in the story was just on point. Like I haven't been disappointed with any episodes so far, and I hope they keep up with this quality up until the very end. So I give this a solid 9 out of 10. I highly recommend watching. I actually watched it 2-3 times just because I really liked it. Again, that they kind of slow things down a little bit, but they keep putting on these little things here and there to keep us interested in the episode and in the series. So let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, and do everything you can to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. It's all Chibi no Podcast. Let us know what you think about the episode. And this is David the Smash Fan. I am out.